All right, so to round out 2020, we have some new football boot transfer news, rumors, a guy switching brands. That guy being Sergio Ramos, a player that obviously a lot of people really like, but also a lot of people don't seem to like him. I can't think of anybody else like that. And the reason why I bring up Neymar is because his football boot brand switch from Nike to Puma has been easily the biggest story of 2020, and there's an argument to be made that from a notoriety standpoint at least, it's the biggest brand switch we've seen in football boot history. Nonetheless, I have been really surprised by the number of messages that I've received over the last 2 days about Sergio Ramos wearing a couple different brands of football boots, most notably not from Nike. Nike being a brand that he's been with for pretty much his entire career, and even not that long ago, he got his own Tiempo signature colorway. So the fact that it looks like he's about to leave, obviously we're seeing a lot of Nike athletes doing the same thing, but this one in particular, people seem to be fascinated by. So with that in mind, I want to talk about all the details around this situation, talk about the boots Ramos has been wearing over the last couple of weeks, some branded, some not, and also discuss where I think he'll ultimately end up signing, because it doesn't look like it's going to be Nike. I can also confirm at this point that Sergio Ramos will not be signing with Pure Grip socks, which of course are available at puregripsocks.com, which may or may not be linked down below in the description of this video, unfortunately. As always, if you guys do end up enjoying this video and want to continue seeing more boot spotting videos on the channel, because I know a lot of you guys really like them, don't forget to support this one with a like. And if you are new here watching for the first time and don't want to miss out on weekly content on everything football boots, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. So first things first, why wouldn't Nike want to re-sign Ramos? Because I've heard a lot of people in the comment section on Instagram thinking that this is an absolutely crazy move by them. Why would they let him go to another brand? And I think there's a couple different reasons for it, and there's actually some pretty good logic behind it. First reason is I'm pretty sure Sergio Ramos probably wants a ton of money that Nike is less inclined to pay him at this point in his career. There's an argument to be made that he's still a very good defender. I'm not going to comment on how good players are at any point in time because that just sparks unnecessary anger in the internet comment section, but he's still a very good player, and you would think he's going to bring a lot of value to the Nike brand, which is absolutely true. However, I'm sure Ramos and his agent feel like he brings way more value than Nike does. I talked about this in a previous video, but it really seems like Nike's current marketing strategy is signing up all of these really young and up-and-coming talents and trying to basically find the next Cristiano Ronaldo. With Sergio Ramos, as popular and as notable as he is as a player, he's been with Nike for a very long time, and him re-signing with Nike is not really going to spark any new interest within the brand. He's just going to continue to wear the Tiempo as he has been for the last who knows how long. So I think that's a lot of Nike's logic here, where they're probably thinking that they can spend a lot less money on a bunch of young players rather than spending a ton of money on one player that they already pretty much know what they're going to get out of from a return on investment perspective. It's a very similar situation to Robert Lewandowski, who's obviously a great player still, has been with Nike for a very long time, but probably just wants more money than what Nike is willing to pay. We even see Varane on the same team as Ramos testing out some blacked out Puma boots. He looks to be making a brand switch away from Nike as well. So it just looks like they're unwilling to pay these players who are still very good, but over the age of 30, that's just not the direction that they're going in. What I will say that's very exciting regarding this Ramos situation is the amount of interest on the internet. Obviously, we saw the splash of the Neymar switch, and I don't think that Ramos going to another brand is going to have quite the same impact, but based on him kind of being synonymous with the Nike brand because he's been there for such a long time, a brand switch to pretty much anyone that isn't Nike, I think people could be pretty excited about. Imagine the marketing campaign #VamosRamos. That's actually really good. Okay, 28,000 people have used it already, but I still think it's a good idea though. I also want to bring this up because I see this type of, I guess, reaction a lot when I make these types of videos where people suggest that Ramos, as an example, is leaving Nike because he doesn't like the boots Nike makes right now. And he definitely is a player that has been going back to an older generation of Tiempo, but he's been wearing his own signature colorway. To me, it looks like it's more of a superstition thing rather than an issue with the latest Tiempo generation. And you also have to consider that big name players like this signed to these big brands are getting custom boots anyways. So what's available at the retail level for us regular people to buy is not necessarily what the pros have access to. A big brand like Nike is perfectly capable of providing just about any pro with a pair of football boots that they're eventually going to be happy with. Now, as for the boots Ramos has been wearing, he's worn stuff from two different brands. One brand being Adidas, because we can very clearly see that this is the Adidas Copa 20.1, black with very clear orange Adidas stripes. And then the second boot is a little bit more of a mystery because it doesn't have any branding, but I am pretty much 99.99999% sure that it is a New Balance Tequila V3 Pro. Now, I don't think anyone's 100% sure on the status of Ramos's current deal. As far as I'm aware, he's still signed with Nike, which is why he's wearing Nike boots in matches. That's probably his obligation. What players train in training is typically not part of football boot endorsement deals, but I'm sure there's technicalities that vary from player to player. Nonetheless, I don't think his Nike contract has expired just yet, but if I had to guess, it's probably going to expire at the end of the year, which we are obviously very close to. Now, in training, he's been openly wearing these Adidas Copa 20.1s. Does that mean he has already signed with Adidas? I don't think so. I would imagine that they would have launched some kind of marketing campaign if that were the case, or if he has signed with them, then, well, no, he just couldn't have signed with them. What am I saying? At this point in time, I think it's pretty safe to say that he's not signed with Adidas, but he's wearing Adidas boots in training with the branding fully exposed, probably because he just doesn't care that much. It's kind of a weird one because usually when pros are coming out of contract, they don't want to give any free exposure to any brand at all. But I think that this could potentially be a situation where he's wearing these out of spite just to make Nike say, "Why you doing that, bro?" What? Can you tell these are unscripted? So there's no doubt that Adidas is definitely a possibility in terms of which brand Ramos will be signing with. Clearly he's in talks with them if he's wearing the boots. Again, he might just be wearing them out of spite because he's leaving Nike. But I think the stronger possibility in terms of where he ends up is at New Balance, partnering Sadio Mane as really being the 1A and 1B face of the New Balance brand. And I'm not sure if you follow Sergio Ramos on Instagram, but he loves himself, and I just have a feeling that he would love being the face of a football boot brand. And to be honest, I think it could actually be really good for New Balance because Sadio Mane, as great a player as he is, he's kind of a quiet guy and he doesn't really have the strong personality that you perhaps need to bring notoriety to your brand. Where a guy like Sergio Ramos, if you're basically paying him a ton of money and telling him, hey, you're the face of New Balance football, I feel like he's going to take that and run with it and bring more attention to New Balance than anybody that they've ever signed before. I could be completely off base here, but he just strikes me as a guy that would do a really good job of that. And to address the boots he's been wearing, again, I am almost 100% sure that they are the current laceless New Balance Tequila. If you look at the shape of the collar on these boots versus the boots that Ramos is wearing, it's pretty much dead on, and that for me is the clear giveaway. And we now have some really good close-up images. Obviously the boots are completely blacked out, almost too well in some pictures where it looks like the boots haven't been unlocked yet, but you can definitely see the texturing in the knitted upper on the boots Ramos is wearing. The one thing that they did do that's a little bit sneaky is they didn't press on the New Balance logo on the lateral side, which was why it's so hard to figure out what is actually happening with these boots, because when you remove that logo and then black out this New Balance branding here, there's really no way to tell what they are other than just looking at the silhouette and some of the minor texturing on the surface of the upper. I did see quite a few comments suggesting that this is the next generation of the Adidas Predator, and we've seen quite a few pros training in the next gen Preds already, but if you look at those versus what Ramos is wearing, and then you compare what Ramos is wearing to the boot that I'm holding here in my hands, it's pretty clear that it's a boot from New Balance. And for those that will point out that the Tequila is a very different football boot in comparison to the Tiempo Legend 8 Elite that Ramos has been wearing, even the Legend 7 that he's also been wearing, you're right. There's pretty much nothing in common between these two, and I definitely think the Tiempo is a much better football boot. These, especially for a laceless football boot, are extremely underwhelming, but you also have to consider the money factor, where if you were gonna get paid millions and millions of dollars to wear a football boot that possibly wasn't very good at a retail level, but you're gonna get a custom pair to wear anyway, so it's not gonna matter all that much what they actually sell to the public, and all you're doing is collecting money just to wear a pair of football boots that you probably don't care that much about in the first place, then if you were Sergio Ramos or in Sergio Ramos's shoes, which it's kind of funny considering what we're talking about, you'd probably do the same thing and wouldn't worry too much about which boots they wanted you to wear. So there you have it, everyone. That is a breakdown of the entire Sergio Ramos boot switch situation that is currently happening. Shout out to all 500 of you, and I'm not even joking, who DM'd me about this on Instagram over the last couple of days. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. If you have any questions regarding the situation or any opinions on this situation, is Ramos to New Balance a good deal for New Balance, or will they just be overpaying for a player that's not going to bring that much attention? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you aren't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.